And then one other question that we had on this subject is a lot of the DIY stuff is in trend now. There's all the shows about it.
Yeah.
And of course, homeowners want to come in and say, I can do this by myself. What are some of the projects that you see have been successful for the homeowners doing DIY and where they can kind of work lock and step with you?
Yeah.
And then also, what are some not so good ones to choose for DIY?
Let's start with the not.
Okay.
The first and foremost, unless you are very knowledgeable in electrical and plumbing, and especially electrical, don't mess with it.
Okay.
For safety reasons, right off the bat, shock and fire hazards, safety in general. If you're not knowledgeable, don't do it. Hire an electrician, hire a professional that knows what they're doing, making sure that you're covered.
Okay.
Because the last thing we want to have is anyone hurt, harm, or worse to themselves or to others. Those are the top two as far as the nots. The other one really kind of, and this kind of goes for the do or the don'ts, is it all depends on the knowledge that the client has too. There can be a lot of clients that, hey, they've seen the shows and they're like, oh, I can do this as well. But it would be maybe their first time using a sander or their first time doing this or the first time doing that. Have a little bit more guidance if you're incapable. I love it. I love passion. I love people wanting to DIY. And of course, we do that as well as just consumers.
Right.
But making sure that if you're doing it, do it right. Do it right the first time, because then it's a whole nother ballgame if you're having to have it fixed and taken care of or repaired or replaced.
Right.
Depending on what you do, because then it costs even more to kind of, because you're already a step now behind.
Yeah.
As far as the do's, I mean, there's quite a bit that can be done. I mean, let's go with like right off the bat, there's demo. You know, they're depending on, again, going back to the project, structural, there's structural walls, there's electric, there's electrical in the walls, there's plumbing in the walls, there's a lot of stuff that is inside those walls. So safety, making sure that you're just not blowing through like the Kool-Aid man through a wall, but that you're doing it right and you're doing it proper. And this should go without saying, but making sure you're wearing all the right safety equipment, safety glasses, hard hat if necessary, you know, hard steel-toed boots. So in case you don't step on nails, you're not harming yourself again or others.
Okay.
But the demo is a pretty straightforward one. We usually, even when clients ask if they can do the demo themselves, we also give a stipulation in there that there are quite a few things that homeowners or DIYers overlook if they do demo. For instance, if you're taking down the drywall, you also have to remove all the screws and the nails, because that we need to get to a fresh line.
Right.
So a lot of people don't understand that, hey, I've pulled the drywall down, now it's done. Well, then the crew still needs to kind of remove that stuff, which is not a problem. Another big one is painting. I unfortunately am not a painter. I despise painting. To me it takes forever.
It does.
And so, but there are a lot of people that love to kind of go into that realm and do it, and we're all for it. Again, you know, our crews, depending on the project, could take a couple days to handle their stuff. And so homeowners, including myself, it could take me 5 to 7 days to do one room sometimes, because you get all the tape up and everything like that, and the paint still bleeds through, and you're just like, okay, I should have started with a painter. But that goes back into, as far as schedule goes, as far as any DIY work that is involved where we're combining the professionals with the homeowner, the client, and the DIYer, is also the understanding that that schedule is involved with this too. So if we have painters that normally would take 2 or 3 days, is it a savings for you to do the DIY sections if it's going to take you longer, which would then hold up the project and or hold up the timeline? So then you're causing kind of an obstacle or a hiccup or a speed bump.
Right.
outside of that, it all depends on your knowledge and usability of tools.
Okay.
So if you know how to work a nail gun, trim might be in a chop saw, you're able to do trim.
Okay.
There's a lot of other technical stuff that can be done, but right off the bat, demo and painting are usually the top two that clients we kind of point the clients towards.
Okay. Great information.